All right, going to need your help on this one in the comments. Again, remember, Craig and I read almost every comment. We can't respond to every single one of them, but we read them, so appreciate that. Okay, with a new offensive coordinator, new fresh eyes, it's pretty apparent that there's going to be a key starter on the chopping block, as there should be, because I think maybe you just get comfortable with the same players, but this one it's like, oh man, we got a glaring problem here. And John Morton, our new offensive coordinator, is going to definitely sniff this one out and just be like, yeah, I don't think we can do this anymore. I just don't think this is going to work. So here it is. But it's a tough situation. And let me pull it up. It's our guy, Graham Glasgow, our offensive line. And I'm going to get to also more coaches have left. We'll get to that here in just a second as well. It's like, okay. Like I knew offensive and defensive coordinators leaving, but I didn't think like, they're going to take current guys on the staff and give them promotions, and so they're going to leave. So we'll get to that in just a second. What you're looking at here is a chart where you don't want to be on the bottom left. You can kind of see like the majority cluster is up here, middle to top right. These outliers on the bottom left are blown block percentage. So 5% of Graham's straight up pass protection sets, 5% he was just blown by. Just straight up not good, because it's two reasons it's not good. It's right in the middle, right up in the quarterback's face, straight line to the quarterback. It's just the play's over, right? So that just means 5% of our plays, the play was just dead, which was the key play against the Commanders, which was that 3rd and 1 down at the 20. We're up 7-3 early in the game. We go 5 wide, which I didn't like, and he just gets beat completely, fumble. Game's over. I mean, it was crazy. Like in hindsight, right at the time, like, okay, that's not good, but let's see if we can figure it out. That was such a huge play. We were going in to go up 14-3, have all the momentum. Instead, turnover, they score, pick six, all that just happened. So that's what we're talking about there. Also, on the x-axis is pressure percentage allowed. So you don't get blown by, but then just what percentage? And he's almost at 15% of the time he allowed some sort of pressure. That's not good against Jared Goff. You cannot have it because Goff cannot move at all. And he gets pressure. It looks so much worse than a normal quarterback because he's so gumpy that it's just like, oh gosh. So you cannot have pressures. We just have to have an outstanding offensive line. It just is what it is. And if we do have an outstanding offensive line, Goff is really good. And I think we're like, no. If we have a good offensive line, some quarterbacks, it doesn't matter how good the offensive line is, they still can't hit open receivers. They can't put you in the right position. They can't audible to the right plays. Like there's more to it than just like, oh, anybody with a good offensive line and weapons could be good. I don't think that's true. So Goff's our guy. I love it. But at the same time, you got to protect him like big time. So that is what's going to be really key. So if you look at it, Graham Glasgow, we'll go back to this here. He's due $5 million in 25 and 6.5 in 26, which is a starter salary. I can see absolutely nothing. This is the Manta Sleep Mask. Join Craig and I as we try to do better in 2025, and that starts with a good night's sleep. We've partnered with Manta because they have the world's best sleep mask and functional sleep accessories. They work to really improve and optimize sleep to help you fall asleep and then stay asleep. Their masks are great because you can have cool eye cups, you can have steam cups, aroma dots, there's even a weighted mask, all kinds of options to help you fall asleep. The best part is they even have masks for kids. This is great because kids sometimes don't sleep the best. Try this out. My kids love it. They've got so many options for you to try. So our link is in the description for 10% off. You can go to Manta Sleep for more information. Link is in the description. Use our code 10% off. It is a starter salary, but it's not that bad because he is the backup to an aging center, right? So with Frank Ragnow. So you really, I know it's expensive, but you're also paying him for basically two jobs. You're the guard and our backup center. So to just be like, see ya, Glasgow, really doesn't make sense. However, Christian Mahogany looks the part. And he gets a full off season. He's past his rookie year. Like I really expect him to do a lot of good things. Also, Zeitler, who turns 35 here in just a couple days, is going to be a free agent. So it's like, can't just be like, see ya Glasgow, see ya Zeitler. We need to maybe run it back with all these guys, but Mahogany, you move into the starting position there. Because another thing is, from the Senior Bowl, one guy that's really stood out is this Gray Zabel guy. He's got position flexibility. He can play all of the offensive line positions. He was actually a tackle, but his real good position is center and guard. He has taken snap at each offensive line position, but has really stood out at both guard and center during Tuesday's practice. So so you start looking at the draft, and you're like, well, do we just get younger and set up for the future? I just think Glasgow's one that we have to watch, because our new coaching staff is going to be like, all right, especially John Morton, who's a pass game guru. Let me just tell you about this guy really quick, and why he's not going to be screwing around is because when you look at what he's done, let me read just some of the stuff he did. He took Bo Nix last year to top 10 finish in passer rating. They went to the playoffs with Bo Nix. He was with Jim Harbaugh's pass game coordinator. He's been with Sean Payton. He's been with USC, San Francisco. This guy's considered like a real star. And so he knows, he's not dumb. He knows that what he's going to have to do is protect Goff. If we can protect Goff and run the ball, we have the best weapons on the offensive side of the ball in the NFL. Really, because you say, well, Eagles, A.J. Brown, Saquon, Smith. It's like, yep, that's good. I take our tight end. I know, right? I take our we have 2 running backs. They have Saquon, absolutely. You know what you could go on and on about it, but I think that's why it's so important to be like, yeah, we got to get that position right. Something else about him, this guy. We'll see who calls the plays as well. That'll be interesting to see kind of who calls the plays and what that looks like. Another thing that we got to look at is another coach left the staff. And if you're like me, maybe you're smarter than me, but I'm just like, man, we're going to lose our coordinators. But then I didn't realize, they're going to take guys. Hey, you're a tight ends coach. Well, hey, now you're my offensive line coach. Promotion. Come with me. You know me. I want you. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm gone. And that's happening like crazy. So that's where we got to be really careful. So we lost our tight ends coach. Let me just pull it up. And I'll just talk about him for a second. But it's the Steve Hayden. Remember, we get him from the Cardinals? Well, he's now like, yeah, I'm going to take off. And the Jets hire Lions tight end coach Tanner Egerstrand. So Tanner Egerstrand, or Eggstrand. I don't even know how you say his last name now that I look at it. He's going to the Jets. Our tight ends coach is now going to the Jets. So it's like, okay. So what happens is we keep having these, like, I don't know if you've seen them, these little charts that shows all of our coaching positions, and there's X's out of them, and it's like, okay, just when we got it kind of settled down from Ben Johnson leaving, now the defensive side coaches are leaving, got to fill those back in. I think it's never, in a perfect world, nobody ever changes and we just keep it how it is, coaches wise. But it's also really nice to have the change in some different things, and just it's not bad. The culture's there. Dan Campbell's there. Chris Spielman's there. Brad Holmes is there. All of our players are there. That's the big thing. You look at our available free agents and things going on. We got a handful of guys that you're like, I don't know, maybe resign you, maybe don't. Even if we lost every single possible free agent, like, we're out ahead of all of our major free agents, guys that need to be re-signed. Not worried one bit about our players. So, what I'm saying, it's players like what's his name? Tim Patrick. Like, do we bring him back? Yeah, I think we should. You're kind of jostling that around versus trying to build a roster, which we will, of course, through the draft, free agency. But my point is, these new coaches are going to be really good. Brad Holmes even said, he's like, he was asked, what do you look for in these new coaches? And he's like, they just need to be able to adapt to what we do. I was like, okay. I love that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you let Graham Glasgow walk? Do you let him come back? What do you do? I actually think you keep him, but it's going to be interesting. That's the only one where you could really start shuffling the offensive line. That'll be interesting. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Again, if you're new, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see all of you on the next one.